A city that never gets hit by hurricanes gets hit by an earthquake and a hurricane, and I'm kind of just like, ooh.
God, he's such a he can't say it with his chest. So the pictures and videos aren't real. Got it. Oh my God. Tim Pool is calling for civil war again. Love that. You don't have to call it civil war. Call it a communist revolution. Fired founder of right-wing org Project Veritas under investigation in New York. So what's really funny about this like civil war narrative is that like Tim Pool says it about everything. At this point, it's like it's going to be an article about like Ian Miles Chung stubbing his toe or something in Malaysia, and Tim Pool's like, it's a civil war. Dude, even right-wing people don't like this freak. He was basically taking funds from GOP mega donors and then like funding his own personal projects to do like a revamp of Oklahoma. Okay, that's part of the reason why nobody gives a shit. Only Tim Pool is just like losing his mind because he himself is also a goddamn theater kid. Speaking of theater kids, here's Tim Pool's second in command, I guess. This was a hilarious video. I'm so glad that this myth-informed account, which used to be a Joe Rogan tracker that I used to follow all the time, has completely lost their minds and are now fully on board with Joe Rogan's narrative about like vaccines, lockdowns, whatever the Joe Rogan has to say. And they clipped this, thought it was sick. Okay, trigger warning. They clipped this, thought this was a video that went hard. Let me read the caption for you. We will not wear your dirty masks on our faces. We will not comply with your bullshit lockdowns. Now, first of all, that sounds like a fetish. Okay, what's going on there? Is there like a fetish? Like someone is just like pissing and shitting in a mask and then making you wear it? Like what the is that? Like, what do you mean, my dirty mask? Okay. Now, you might think, Hassan, this video is from 2020, and you would be wrong. This video is recent. As a matter of fact, there's a resurgence in the right-wing circles. If you're not paying close attention, or if you don't have like a canary in the coal mine, like I do, to keep up with all of the latest mania in right-wing circuits, you're probably unfamiliar. The right is back on this mask shit. Apparently, they believe that lockdowns are coming again. They believe that the second lockdown is coming, that they believe that, you know, there's more New World Order shit happening. That's what they're running with right now. Let's take a look.
That is the recipe to destroy your country, is to shut it down. Don't do that again. And don't make people put dirty masks on. Nice. I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of it. I will not do it again. That
Like, somebody was watching this, okay? These three guys from Milwaukee that oppose authoritarian ideology were watching this and went, that goes so hard, we have to clip this and post it. This guy's crying so hard. So, couple things, okay? Couple things going on here. I don't even know what's happening with these lockdowns. Like, I guess like this is the new conservative commentary that like the lockdowns are coming again or something. I think they basically just like ran out of shit. Like they ran out of shit, so they're just running with it. I mean, there has been resurgences of new COVID strains that have kind of been ripping through a little bit, but ultimately at this stage, I feel like there is no shot. There is no shot that like Democrats are going to do lockdowns. You know what I mean? Are you kidding me? So I believe the theory includes speculation of mail-in and absentee ballots to rig the election. Love that. Check him getting ratioed in the replies. Will not. Masks are by definition dirty. They get gross as the day goes on. No more masks. You can change them as the day goes on. They're not expensive. Will not comply. I refuse to wipe my ass. Will not comply. So a lot of people forget that the FDA, once the vaccines came out, there was a big push to vaccinate the entire worker population, because the goal for all capital owners was to ensure that their cattle was properly vaccinated so they could work. They could keep churning out product. They could go and buy shit, right? That was the major reason. Now, of course, that aligned with the uniquely human condition of wanting to survive a otherwise deadly pandemic. You know what I mean? Like it definitely coincided in that way, which really broke a lot of people's brains for some reason. Like I always understood why, you know, people were pushing for the vaccination campaigns, the mass inoculation campaigns. It was obviously the goal for capital owners were to get back to work, make sure everybody gets back to work, right? But for some weird reason, these guys didn't understand that that was the point, or rather looked at that and thought, yeah, I'm not doing that like a child, okay? I'm not doing that no matter what you tell me. But now that mass inoculation campaigns have occurred and and people have gotten COVID and survived. A lot of people have long COVID and are still facing the consequences of that sort of thing. At this stage, unless there is like a incredibly damaging second wave that is like, you know, this new strain that is just wiping out people, okay, there will probably not be another lockdown, because at this point, like, we tried it, we did it, we failed. People complained a lot about it. It actually hurt the bottom line of corporations, especially in the beginning. There's no way they're going back to that, okay? USA had one of the highest COVID patients and death rate in the COVID. How are they still ignorant? It don't matter. I will not comply. Will you? No masks, no shots, no bugs, no groomers near our children, no mandates, no funding proxy war with billions of our tax dollars. That's just for starters, says Erin Elizabeth Health Nut News. Happening now in Los Angeles, California, parents have taken to the streets and are now headed to the LAUSD headquarters. Parents say they are done with Newsom and LA city officials undermining parental rights. This shit is like so insanely AstroTurf, dude. It's awesome. This is like every issue. Listen to the detransitioners. Parents are the trusted adults. Leave our kids alone. No more lockdowns. Like, it's a smorgasbord of like different kinds of conservative mental illness and display. And the obvious reason for why this is like popping off, the main reason why it's happening, is because they're LARPing. They're bored, upper middle class suburbanites LARPing as though they are fighting against an oppressive authoritarian regime. And the reason why they're doing this role play rather than doing the other thing of acting out an insurrection or getting together and like legitimately trying to do a Charlottesville, or acting out an insurrection at like the courthouse where they're detaining Donald Trump or whatever. The reason why they're not doing that is because they know when they do that, there is actual consequences. When they do this, there is none. It's the same principle behind like, I'm doing my part. I'm doing slacktivism by going and watching a movie in the movie theater, and the AC is actually off because there's some massive conspiracy that is stopping me from watching a fucking movie.
Here's the theater. We're in Pineville, North Carolina, okay? So how many people do you know would actually still go to a theater knowing that your tickets have been refunded to check on your tickets? Not that many people. We did, because...
What? We're insane because we're fucking so dumb. Like, what? I'm so confused. Why is she saying this? Like,
you're too mean to her.
Oh my God, you're such a simp.
You're
We did, because we're not dumb, and also that was divinely inspired.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's because she's not dumb. That's why she was like, oh, this movie, unfortunately, is not going to be like a great experience for you because the AC is broken and nobody gives a shit to fix it. And she was like, no, I'm not dumb. You can't be fooling me. You don't want me to watch this movie. Ultimately, you're not doing activism. You're watching a movie, dumbass. But it feels good. There's a shared purpose. We're all fighting against, child sex traffickers by watching a movie. Wow, that's great. Sounds great. Conservatives love slacktivism. They love low-stake slacktivism. Not just conservatism, lazy as fuck. I mean, the other side of this was real activism that happened in the streets during the Black Lives Matter protest that sparked up during 2020. And when there is real activism, what happens? One, you don't get anything from the government. The government does not cave to any of your demands, no matter how reasonable they are. And two, you go to fucking jail. So the other side of this is also real activism against a brutal authoritarian police state and its unjustifiable, inhumane, cruel practices and its disproportionate targeting of black people, for example, in black neighborhoods. And a lot of people participated in that and nothing came of it. So now they're completely checked out. They're completely fucking checked out of that because they saw the way the Democrats also failed to make any concessions with the protesters and instead made compromises to the police ahead of time. Compromises that they couldn't even get passed, by the way. So, remember that when we talk about the low stakes slacktivism that these guys engage in. Oh, here. If you recall, I said this exact same thing about the Westboro Baptist Church, and I'm glad that this is like picking up steam. This narrative is picking up steam. Psychotic Westboro Baptist Church shit is just mainstream conservatism. Tourism Now says Dreamleaf, which is exactly what this is. Yes.
A storm hits, and it's like a once-in-a-lifetime storm because California never gets hit by hurricanes. And you've got people saying, gee golly. It is kind of crazy, don't you think? Like, when was the last time you heard about Los Angeles being hit by a hurricane? I don't know, man. It's just, if someone came to me and said that they believe this is God's wrath, I'm going to be like, well, look, coincidences can happen. I'm fairly agnostic. I do believe in God. I don't believe in like scripture and stuff like that, like prophecy, regardless of the religion. But I just got to tell you, you know, a month and a half or 2 months after they do this drag nun thing, a city that never gets hit by hurricanes gets hit by an earthquake and a hurricane. And I'm kind of just like, ooh.
God, he's such a pussy. He can't say it with his chest. The Dodgers pick is fake, by the way. Yeah, I know, chat. I know. It was really funny because the Dodgers pick. So let me tell you something. This photo was going omega viral. And then I looked at the Dodger Stadium's Twitter account and they posted a photo of the Dodger Stadium and the parking lot, okay, in real time. And they wrote, oh, it seems like the Dodger Stadium is going viral. Here's what it looks like currently. And the fucking photo had like 23 likes because it's not as sexy as like the insanity. It's way sexier to assume that like the Dodger Stadium is flooded like this, despite, you know, being in an elevated area from a helicopter, which by the way, I don't even know where it's from. Is that from like a movie or something? Oh yeah, here's the pic that I'm talking about. It ended up getting 9,000 likes by the end of it. Still nowhere near. Oh, it's an optical illusion because the parking lot is wet and the reflection makes it seem like it's flooded. Got it. I love the Dodger Stadium looking at an empty fucking disgusting parking lot and going, isn't it beautiful? No, man, it's not beautiful, Dodger Stadium. The fuck are you saying? So the pictures and videos aren't real. Got it. Oh my God. Stadium just took a bath. Why is everybody overreacting? The media wanted me to think that the stadium completely flooded. That's great news. It was a rough sight last night. No, it doesn't. I hate everything. I fucking hate everything about the way people react to things. There are a lot of people, especially on new Twitter, where like I just want to fucking comprehend what is happening in their brains. I want it so bad. I have to understand.